There's your boy. Do you want old school or new school? So I guess we can make it look like a Dreamcast game, or we can make it look like a maybe a PlayStation 2 game. They say this is high definition. This is Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, part of these Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered, Aspire Media. The Embracer Group, the people who are behind the infamous redo of Saints Row, the reboot that came out several years ago in 2022, I think, maybe 2021. I want to say they're also behind an SNK King of Fighters game that I haven't played yet. But yeah, Embracer Group bought out a whole bunch of IP, and unfortunately, I don't think they've really done much that people seem to be terribly interested in. Soul Reaver is an interesting case because this was a game that was released on the PlayStation 1. I played it on launch. Didn't look as good as this. I mean, I know I want to say it got a Dreamcast remaster several years after the fact. And by remaster, I mean it just ran better on the Dreamcast. And of course, the sequel, I want to say the sequel came out on the PlayStation 2. I never touched it. As I recall, when this game dropped, it was called Dark Zelda, I think. By the way, this was standard definition textures, I suppose, for similar to the PlayStation 1, if not the Dreamcast. And this is the high definition remake. You can press the left stick or the right stick to switch between the two at any time, which is kind of adorable. I like being able to play the game in its original form. We'll switch back and forth as needed. The overhaul is not as good in the original game. The overhaul is not as meaningful in the second game as it is in the original game, and I'll show you more. I'll show you a tiny bit of the second game later. I played this game for about half an hour. I played the sequel for about half an hour. Both of them were kind of terrible. I'm just gonna be honest here. I'm gonna come right out of the gate. Just come throwing strays. I played this game on launch for like several hours. Kind of got bored with it. Don't remember much about it. Played the sequel just a few minutes, about an hour ago. Wandered around for like half an hour. Kind of drove me crazy.
These gates twist space, laying a path across great spans.
So I'm going to play what I know. I'm going to replay what I've already done and then make a little bit more progress than I did last time. But thankfully you didn't see me wander around like an idiot for half an hour trying to figure out where to go. Because remember, I haven't played this game in a long time. You want to pay attention to these symbols on the room, in the back of the room. Because they show you the fast travel that you're using.
You must visit other gates before this portal will be open to you.
Again, kind of hard to really make sense of this because this game did not come with a manual. So I hope you know how to play Soul Reaver, because I don't. So I've been, like I said, I spared you a whole bunch of time trying to figure out how to play this game. Voice acting is very good. That's your boy Tony J, the late great Tony J, voice of Virgil in the Mighty Max animated series, Megabyte from Reboot, several dozens of other shows. I think he was also wasn't he also the villain in Hunchback of Notre Dame? Yeah, it was Tony J. Yes, Tony J he's an all-timer. If you put, who was he in Gargoyles? I don't remember. I don't think he was in Gargoyles. Actually, he had to have been in Gargoyles. Yeah. He was Anubis in Gargoyles, the god of death, the Egyptian god of death. Death is pointless. That is the point. So they managed to get Tony J in Gargoyles. So yeah, he was everywhere in the 90s. If not the late 80s, but definitely the 90s. I don't know how much money they threw at him to do this voice acting. Because in the PS1 era, I mean, the graphics weren't really there, but American developers like the ones behind this game, I think it was Crystal Dynamics. I guess they're willing to throw a few production dollars towards the voice acting for this PlayStation 1 this dank version of Zelda Oracle of Time, I guess you could call it.
You are weak. You must feed.
The old hunger has left me. I have no desire for blood.
You are changed. Your bloodthirst is replaced by a deeper need. You have become a devourer of souls. To sustain your strength, You must hunt the lost spirits of the underworld and consume the souls of your enemies.
Tony freaking J, dog. Probably worth noting, I don't remember the name offhand. There was a 80s synth rock band whose name escapes me. I think it wasn't Animotion, but there was a British synth rock band.
You have much to learn,
What?
Raziel. When you are ready, this barrier will be dissolved.
Just a second. One of the musicians from that group, or I think one of the producers from that group, was hired to do the music for this game. And he apparently redid one of his songs and repurposed it for this game. So the song you probably remember the most from this game is an arrangement, or I think it's the original song he just reused for this game. So I have to hold down the A button to vacuum up all of these souls. This is kind of a nice look. It's like he's like holding out his scarf like a basket. And if I zoom in with the high definition, it looks a little bit better. So I guess you could say that this is how the Dreamcast version looked. Because look, I played the game on the PS1. I can guarantee you it didn't look this good. It didn't run this well either. like 60 frames a second, absolutely no chance. I hold ZL, yeah, like in Mario and Conker's Bad Fur Day, you can duck.
Your wings, though ruined, are not without purpose. Take hold of them as you leap, and they will carry you across this chasm.
You crouch and jump to do a super jump. Press the B button, hold down the B button in midair for a float jump. That's how we do. Unfortunately, half of this game is gonna look like this.
What scabrous wretches are these?
Just a second. Scabrous.
Sure, the scavengers of the underworld. Their feral hunger has claimed countless souls, spirits who now shall never find their rest.
So yeah, most of the game is like this. You like wander around these dank corridors, because apparently the game is like prefetching air. There's no load times really in the original PlayStation 1 game. They hid them by prefetching, by going down these narrow corridors that would load the next area. But the areas are very claustrophobic, because remember, this is a PlayStation 1 game, kids. Draw distance is not great. The fog, look at the fog. See that room over there? You can't see it because it's obscured in fog. Walk a little bit closer and you can see the textures load in the distance. That's how much room the developers had to work with in terms of creating the sizes of the rooms in this game. Again, for people who don't know, you grew up in if you didn't play games in the late 90s, you didn't know. 3D games are very limited graphically. This is one obvious example. Although this looks way better than that game did. Like I said, imagine this game running at a far less competent 25 to 30 frames a second most of the time. So what you're seeing here is not the original game. I've done the A button to recharge my life meter at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. You know that little swirl that looks like a Dreamcast? That's the life meter. You can dodge, but why bother? The combat in this game is not terribly sophisticated, let's be brutally honest here. You scurred. I do like that. The enemies run away in this area. The game wants me to hold R for Z targeting. I can't feed. He's not dead, is he? Okay, maybe I did eat him. Yeah, I probably did eat him. We're a vampire, in case you didn't know. Not a sparkly one, more of a dank 90s edgy vampire like the ones in Blade. So I guess we're one of those vampires. We're not cute, we're murderous, and yeah, we're not sexy sparkly vampires. We're dank and murderous like Spawn, who's not a vampire, but anyway. Look, your boy grew up in the 90s, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the 90s doesn't hold up, and 3D graphics.
These portals are your conduit between the spectral and material realms. With their aid, you may gather matter and will yourself to become manifest in the physical world. This is taxing, however. Your strength must first be fully restored. You require no conduit to return to this plane. You may abandon your physical body at any time.
So like as I was saying, a lot of things from the 90s don't hold up, and 3D graphics on the PlayStation 1 are one of them. But we'll talk more about that another time. When our health meter is full, you can press the minus sign, then press the Y button to transfer from this world to the dark world, or vice versa. I always did like that effect, by the way.
Sustain your strength to prolong your manifestation in the physical world. If you fail to feed or absorb too many wounds, this fragile matter will dissolve.
So I think I'm on a timer. And if I press the, triangle, the minus sign, the Y button, that transforms me back to the regular world. Okay. So in the spectral world, I guess that's what this is, with this dank glow. And I lost my health. Okay, just a second. Minus. So I can't do this until I heal myself. Okay. Okay, so now that my health is full, I can do this. Not here. So I have to go here and do this. Again, not explained really well. So we transform. So now the little Dreamcast looking spiral is my health bar. I don't know if I'm on a timer. Okay, so we have a compass and we have a map. And I'm gonna be frank, it's not that useful. Which button is it? The L button. Okay, so that was the exit to the underworld. So that's where I am. I went south to get here. Health power-ups found. Eldritch energy power-ups found. And we'll figure it out. So if we can't go north, I bet. Yeah, in the sequel, you can phase through those bars. In fact, let me try. Oh, yeah, my life meter's going down. Okay, so yeah, I'm on a counter now. So I'm on a timer. So that's what Tony J was yammering about. Minus Y. That'll take me back. I'll re-heal myself by that took some energy for me to do again. So I'm healed again. Okay, so that part I didn't quite figure out when I was first playing the game. But again, I wasn't paying attention to any of that. I wasn't dying. So eventually I have to find a few enemies to slaughter and suck on them. So I can get my health back. But here's the problem. There aren't that many enemies in this game. There aren't that many enemies.
You still retain many of your vampiric weaknesses. Immersion in water, while not fatal, will dissolve your physical body, forcing your return to the spirit world. Be aware that in the spectral realm, water has neither heft nor lift. It stands as thin as air.
So don't fall in the water. Crouch, jump, glide with the B button. We're going to be doing that a few times. So eventually you'll get into some fights when you get to an enemy. There aren't that many enemies in this game, honestly. This is not a brawl. This is not God of War. This is a very
these creatures?
Basic game.
Do you not recognize them? They are the children of your brother, Duma.
That's impossible. These foul, scuttling beasts could not be kin of our high blood?
Do you suppose that time stood still for you, Raziel? Much has changed since you passed from the world of men.
Okay, jump over the water. Jump, glide. So you gotta take on both of these
I knew
guys.
my opponent's weaknesses, having suffered them myself. Physical wounds are fleeting. A vampire's immortal flesh begins to close as soon as it is cleaved. Vampires need only fear those wounds that impale or inflame. Water scorches like acid, and fledglings are devastated by sunlight's touch. I would have to modify my tactics to suit my foes.
Digital Foundry had an interesting video where they talked about some of the technical aspects of the PS1 version, how they made the disc really big because they
unfettered from the flesh, a creature's soul fades swiftly into the spectral realm. Draw it in quickly, Raziel, or you will be compelled to follow.
Hold down the A button, suck it up. So their video mentioned how the PlayStation 1 version had copies of all the it had copies of all of the textures on different parts of the disc. So they had like redundant data on the disc, so they could load it more quickly. And I'll talk more about that later once I move this block. Block pushing puzzles, everyone's favorite part
Your
of 3D
physical
games.
prowess surpasses what you knew in life. Even massive obstacles can be moved effortlessly.
Yeah, block pushing puzzles. So we're playing Sokoban for the 3D era. Hold down the button. You can hold down the button. You can drag it left or right or whatever. So we gotta move this over here to the right. Takes a while, unfortunately. Excuse me. Just run over that dead guy. We're going up there, but let's move it over a little bit. Good enough. Camera's gonna be a bit of a problem. Thankfully, there's not too much combat in this game, and I'm happy with that. But yeah, everyone loves block pushing puzzles in a 3D game from the 90s. Freaking Sokoban, am I right? Like I said, Dark Zelda, you gotta push a block, otherwise what are we even doing if we're not pushing blocks in 3D games in the 1990s? What would Tomb Raider be without block pushing puzzles? There is a remaster of the first 3 games, but not playing it anytime soon.
The sanctuary of the clans reduced to ruin. Beyond these walls lay the pillars of Nosgoth, the seat of Kain's empire. How humble it now appeared, collapsing into the dust of its former magnificence. And yet, I had only just emerged. In the instant between my execution and resurrection, centuries had apparently passed.
This world is wrecked with cataclysms. The earth strains to shrug off the pestilence of Kain's parasitic empire. The fate of this world was preordained in an instant by a solitary man. Unwilling to martyr himself to restore Nosgoth's balance, Kain condemned the world to the decay you see. In that moment, the unraveling began. Now it is nearly played out. Nosgoth teeters on the brink of collapse. Its fragile balance cannot hold.
Just a second. So what was I talking about? Yeah, I mean, look. Is this a Yeah, it's a 3D game. I guess it's a AAA game for the PlayStation 1 era. Okay, I think we can set these guys. There's a trick to this. Can I? Oh, give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Give me. Okay, I'm gonna take this. These guys take a lot of damage, by the way. Here's the trick. Hold the X button to impale them. That's the finishing move. Of course, I need to grab it back. So where's my pipe? Down there. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, these original graphics don't look too bad for the era, but yeah, the high def is where the action is, I would argue. Sticky, sticky. And when we play the sequel, it's gonna look way better, even without the high-res graphics turned on. I should probably mention, yeah, I want to say this game was a sequel to an isometric game on the PlayStation 1, wasn't it? Like, I want to say this game was a sequel to like that was a Legend of Kain. Not Soul Reaver 1, but I want to say this game is a sequel to an isometric game that I never played. I could have sworn, yeah, I don't think this is the first game in the franchise. So I'll look it up. I know there was some other game that preceded this game that I had never heard of. You can also pick up Brock's, right? Well, maybe not. Crouch and hold the Y button. Crouch and press the Y button to drop it. But I'm gonna want this because the ability to impale enemies is very useful. Nope, can't go that way. You can also throw them into the fire if you know what you're doing. We'll get to that later. Which way we headed? Not that way. Again, there's a lot of this for the first hour of the game, unfortunately. So see, look at that. Look at the draw distance here. Look at that. That's insane. So the fog rolls in eventually, and then it rolls out. Actually, does this help if we go HD? So the draw distance is still kind of kills kind of short, even with the HD graphics turned on. So why would you play in HD? Well, some of the textures look better, and it's easier to see certain objects, but it's not really a huge deal. Metal Gear Solid. Was there stealth action? Yeah, I want to say this game did come out before Metal Gear Solid. Stabby, stabby. So I need these enemies to recharge my health meter. Because remember, I'm on the timer. See all this transitioning between the spectral world and the real world or whatever? I'm like, whatever. I mean, I guess the whole idea is the only reason you're here is to get past certain areas. Hold on. Wrong button. What? Missed! There we go. So I don't know if you can insta-kill them, but I know you can weaken them a little bit, and while they're stunned, you can do the stab. Like I said, the combat in this game is not, this is not God of War, okay, kids? This is not Devil May Cry. It's an extremely, extremely basic game. So again, this is early 3D action adventure games from the PlayStation 1 era. Camera, again, we have dual stick controls here, so the camera works way better here than it did in the original game, obviously. But the camera will get stuck onto some walls in these tight areas occasionally when you're doing fights, so be careful there. And we can save anywhere, by the way. We can save at any time, eventually, once this thing is done. But you always start at the beginning of the game, and I'll show you what that means in a second. So we unlocked this area. We can teleport back to the first area. Let's see where we are first. So where's the map? Whoops! Didn't mean to throw that. How do I do that? Hey, how do I do that? Okay, the X button to throw it. So you can spear enemies with it. That's cool. Okay, didn't know I could do that. Well, impaling is impaling. Okay, so the L button's for the map. So that's where I am. Lake of the Dead. So we can hold up. Well, I can't bring the spear with me. That sucks. So now I transport it. Let's see. Alright, so that's where I am. So I could save my game here. I made a couple of game saves already. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to do a test. Load the game that we just saved. So we're not at the teleportation area. So what we'll do is... Actually, I don't want to go there. There we go. Standard definition. We'll switch to high definition.
Use your newfound talents to gain entry where you have been otherwise impeded.
So we always start from the beginning, but so how do we mask the load times in this PlayStation 1 era game? Well, the first thing we're going to do is fetch all the assets we need to get to the teleportation area, and then teleport ourselves to a new area, and then fetch all the assets from that area as we wander down the winding corridor that we take to get there. For example, we're going to teleport to this place. Hold up. Oh, my dagger's here. Okay, so my spear's here. Look at that. That's cute. Pick it up. No, put it down. How do I pick this up? I can't pick up the spear. It's an old video game, kids. This is how we used. These are the video games we used to play when we were younger. Yeah, screw this. Okay, enough. So yeah, I can't pick up the spear that I left behind, so I'll have to get another one. Remember? Minus Y, teleport to the other world. This is the regular world, I guess. The real world. So we're on the timer, but I need to pick up another spear. So we'll go through the door. Again, the game was using that corridor, that tunnel, to fetch the next batch of assets for this area we're entering right now. Old school game design, y'all. Very limited RAM. How do I impale this dude? Hold the Y button down and you can throw him. What purpose will that serve? You hold the Y button down. So I guess I can pick him up into a wall and then throw him against the wall. Guess he broke it. So we'll just leave him behind. Screw him. Whatever, dog. If there were water nearby, you can throw him into the wall. Throw him into the water. What up, dog? Hey, he got back up. Tried to throw him into the geometry. Didn't quite work. Hey, whatever. Let's not complicate things. So we're going south. Oh, wait, hold on. We can pick up this rock. Throw a rock at him. Dodge the rock. Oh, I know. Pick him up, throw him into the fire. Watch this. This should be amusing. Not close enough. Hold on, wrong button. Wrong button. Give me the loot. In there. Okay, get over here, dog. Okay, fine. You have to weaken him, and then the fire kills him. Give me the loot. Okay, so I can suck it up while I'm holding the rock. That's good. So I can suck while I rock. That's good. How am I doing this? I also don't know which way I'm going. I pick it. Ooh, don't remember being here. How did I get here? And there's another teleportation area I can visit. Objective: visit the Lake of the Dead. Oh, you mean this one? So I guess I went the wrong way. I guess we're going this way now. Oh, wait, let me get the spear. Let me get the spear. Swap. Gimme. Okay, I'll take that. Was there another spear over here? Okay, so the spear doesn't respawn. That sucks. So it's so I left it behind back at the room.
The doors of the sanctuary were immovable, either barred from the inside or rusted shut. I would need to find another means of entry.
I thought I had superhuman strength. Oh, never mind. There's more than one way to do this. So the spear stuck in that teleportation room. It sucks because I can't move it back. It doesn't respawn. That sucks. So we're going north to the lake of whatever you call it. Stabby, stabby. Whoop, missed. There we go. Hold the A button down to suck out his soul, and we're good. Almost full health. There's another dude over here. Right? Hold down the R button to hold down the R button to crawl. Wait. Oh, I gotta grab my spear. Give me a second. This is the way to go, but I need to grab my spear from that corpse. Or what's left of the corpse. Gimme. Can't forget that. I want to say in the sequel you can double tap the A button for a blade, a soul blade, but I can't do it here. Darn it. Okay, I tried to sneak up on him, but whatever. I'll try I can impale him. Whoops. X. Got him. Holla. Oh, he's not dead. Well, I did impale him. Well, I did impale him. He just wasn't dead. So I probably just should have finished the job. I threw the spear at him, but it did not kill him. Okay, give me that. Alright. Remember, I gotta stay healed. So again, the combat in this game sucks. I mean, I don't know what anyone's expecting. It's functional.
This, at least, had remained constant. The endlessly swirling vortex of the abyss. My tomb, and the womb of my rebirth.
The dialogue.
Though much of Nosgoth's landscape had changed, these cliffs gave me my bearings. My clan territory was to the west. I was anxious to see how my descendants had fared during the centuries of my absence.
The dialogue in this game is kind of over the top. But it works. Jump, jump. So jump then glides. You have to hold down the jump button midair for the glide. Again, kind of normal for 3D platforming in the era. So narrow corridor. Stabby, stabby. So to the extent that combat matters, it's mainly to heal yourself. Gimme. Alright. Yeah, this game sucks. I mean, I'm just playing it because I haven't played it in, like, since it launched, and it's not good. Whoops! Give me that. This is the song, right? Okay, this is the song. Just a second. Okay. Y'all deserve a treat. Putting up with all that. Missed.
Desolation. My once proud kin wiped from this world like excrement from a boot. I knew the hand that wrought this deed.
Excrement from a boot. Hey, dog. Got a couple of them. Come on, boy. Come on. Come on. I'll link to the song in the description, because this is actually a song that was repurposed from an earlier album that the musician worked on prior to this game. Most of the other music's just moody and unremarkable, if I'm going to be honest. Alright, so why? So we unlocked this fast travel point. Can't go here yet. So where are we headed? Investigate your clan territory, okay. I thought I did. So what else am I investigating? So yeah, I lost my spear. So you gotta load the next area by going through this we're going through by masking the load times. You know how it is. Video game programming is hard, y'all. Just saying. Give me that. Hey, dude. If you throw him into a fire... No, it doesn't count. Give me that. Yeah, impale him with the fire, sure. Works for me. Full health, we're good. So I forgot I can actually use the torches. So I can impale him with a torch, that's fine. Hey, bro. Uh-oh. I'm gonna need another torch. This combat sucks. I mean, seriously, people. Okay, here we go. Give me the loot. Gimme. Not that, the other one. I want the one... Never mind. You can't stab him with that. Get rid of that. Okay, give me that. Now we're talking. Whoop, missed. Stabby, stabby. Give me the spear back. Bastard. I do for that. That's what's up. So is this game better than Blade? I haven't played Blade. I haven't played any of the Blade games. And given the era it came out, I probably would have liked them anyway. So we'll see how it goes. There are a lot of PS1 games I never played. Because I just had no interest in these 3D action games back then. I mean, I did play a lot of, play a lot of Japanese RPGs back then. But a lot of these 3D platformers were not my thing. Although I liked a few N64 platformers, sure. But back then, I was playing mostly Japanese RPGs, if I'm being honest. Stabby, stabby. So we're in Razio's stronghold, okay. Gimme. You too? So once they turn red, you can impale them. So maybe 4 hits, and you can impale them, that's fine. Yeah, man, I mean, again, I was an adult when this game came out, so I guess this game was for me, but... you know, I wasn't into, like, dank, edgy 90s platformers, really. So, yeah, the people for whom this game was made were younger than I was, and probably more interested in the thematic elements than I would be. So, yeah, I'll be that guy. I spent my time playing this game wishing I had been playing, you know, I don't know... Final Fantasy Tactics. So that's my deal. Though I do have family members who really liked this game. But I was playing fighting games and RPGs, so I could see that. This was a Crystal Dynamics game, right? I can't grab. I want to grab that spear. Be nice. You can pick up those vases and throw them. That's cool. We're headed up then, huh? Guess we're going up. Wait. What is this, Dark Souls? Hiding enemies behind the walls? What are we doing here? This game looks about as good as Kingsfield does, if I'm being honest. I will probably never play Kingsfield. If a game costs $5, I might rent it out of curiosity, but there's no way I will like. There's no way that game's gonna be good. No shot. Pull the switch and open the door. So I guess the adventuring part of this game is okay. It's just that, you know, the combat sucks. So, I mean, it's like the enemy, you have to kill enemies to keep your health up. So I'm not really that into it. But yeah, people were really talking about this game being like, yeah, this is like Zelda on the PlayStation 1, except it's dank and edgy and... Uh-oh, this can't be good. Do I want to be here? Yeah, do I want to be here? Where am I exactly? Oh, I guess I'm here. Didn't get any health power-ups. Guess I can glide over here. Nothing here. Camera's not cooperating, so I'm gonna have to fudge it a bit. Nothing here. Honestly, yeah, this looks it's too smooth to be a PlayStation 1 game, but I don't think the Dreamcast version looks like this.
No! Please!
I didn't recognize these flayed racks of flesh. Their scent was vampiric, but they gnawed upon their victim's carcass like dogs.
Throw a spear at him. Hey, boys. Ah, darn it. I gotta pick up another one. Stabby, stabby. Didn't mean to do that. I need that soul. Oh, the soul came back. Darn it. Yeah, it came back. That's not good. That's not good. Whoop, missed. I need that. I need that. Darn it, I need that soul. Darn it. Ah. Alright, guess I deserve that. Can I grab the spear? I can't grab the spear. Darn it. Guess I kind of deserve that. I got cocky there. Alright, so now we got a fail state, technically. So I need to find an area. I need to find an area where I can grab my. Where I can get back to the spectral world, or I can get back to the real world, or whatever. Not going there. So we can go up there. Huh. Can't go that way, huh? Intriguing. So we can crouch our way up here. Crouch jump our way up. We even need to crouch jump. Nope. Can't go this way either. Hey! That's where I need to be. Alright, so now that I'm fully healed, I can, minus sign, go back to the other world. So now we're in the real world, I guess. I forget what you call it. Okay, yeah, like I said, I just don't... This game just feels incredibly tedious. Like, the adventuring elements are potentially interesting, but there's this really terrible action game that you have to play that you have to engage with it. It's too bad that you have to engage with this terrible action game to engage with it, so... It's a shame. I split them up. We got fire here. Sounds like a good idea. Want some? Come on, dog. Just dance into the fire. Fine. So we'll use the fire as our obstruction. Gimme. Suck it up. Ah! I want that. Gimme. I came back. No fair. I have to throw him into the fire or what? I'll take that. Throw him into the fire. Gimme. So I don't know what happened earlier. I guess I didn't capture the soul before it escaped. Okay, I need a couple more enemies' health, but I needed the fire so it can serve as sort of an obstacle, so they had to circle around it. But I think if they're weakened, you don't have to impale them. You can just kind of... You can kind of push them into the fire, throw them into the fire. Or if they're weakened while they're standing on top of the fire, yeah, they're dead. Hey, dude. Oh, sorry. Oh, well. Trying to talk to him. The game didn't give me any other dialogue options. Can't go that way. I needed the health anyway.
This charnel house bore the unmistakable marks of Melchiah's clan. To what depths had our dynasty plummeted if these ghouls were the descendants of my high-born brother? Were they so debased as to recruit fledglings from the desiccated corpses here interred?
So yeah, the writing goes to 10.69, so not to 11, but it'll do. Hey, bro. Wait, where'd he go? Hey! Bastard. How could this game have been better? We'll need a way overhauled combat system, but that changes the character. If you make it more like Devil May Cry, it changes the character of the game, I would argue. But it still would be way more interesting though. Like if there were like if there was like a remake of this game with much better combat. Even then, like you still have to do all this tedious exploration with these dumb block pushing puzzles. Because everyone loves block pushing puzzles and brawlers, huh? Where are we looking for exactly? Over there. So I can still hold the spear, that's good. Now hold the button down. I guess we'll pull it out. That might be enough. And we're up. Got a crouch jump to get up there.
My brother Melchiah was made last, and therefore received the poorest portion of Kain's gift. Although immortal, his soul could not sustain the flesh, which retained much of its previous human frailty. This weakness, it seemed, was passed on to his offspring. Their fragile skins barely contained the underlying decay.
So would this have been considered a AAA game on the PlayStation 1? Because obviously, like, Final Fantasy VII was. Tomb Raider? I don't know if Tomb Raider always felt to me like a AA game. But yeah, in that era, I mean, sure. But wait, leave him around the corner. Hey, bro. Come on. Come on. Stabby, stabby. So we can lure them out of the corners. That's usually okay. Give me that. Hey! What, did he resuscitate his boy? Gimme. There we go. It's like, what, 3 or 4 hits and you could stab them? It might be a trick. I could probably pull out the spear while they're dying. I'm not sure. While they're in the death throes. You can also run right into the fire. Run right into the sunlight. That also could have worked. Probably should have made a note of that before. Environmental tactics. Like in, what was it? Like in Sleeping Dogs, you know? Shouldn't there be a teleport? Shouldn't there be like a fast... Whoop! That can't be good. Bastard. Just snuck up on me like that. Where'd he come from? Where'd he come from? Seriously. He already came here. Remember, I'm on the clock. Tick-tock. Need to find a fast travel point. Because that's ultimately why I'm here. Like, you know. Here we go. That's the part I forgot about. You gotta look around every nook and cranny in some of these 3D games, you know. Your Indiana Joneses. Your Indiana Jones on the Nintendo 64, you know. Your Tomb Raiders. Again, they have Tomb Raider. They haven't already been here? This is different. You know, Tomb Raider on the Nintendo 6, Tomb Raider on the PlayStation. You know, you gotta look around every nook and cranny. But yeah, I'm gonna bail. This thing sucks, man. I can't. Why? So I'm gonna save this. So what's this room called? I'm trying to back out. There we go. Press the Y button to back out. So we're in the M room, I guess. So what are my other options? So we're in the, okay, so I've already been to those places. Yeah, like I said, traverse the necropolis, which is where we are. So let me save. Like I said, I am not a fan of this game. Do not like it. It didn't really grab me when I was playing as a kid, but playing it now makes it seem even more tedious than I thought at the time. So, with the benefit of hindsight and 2 decades of maturity since this game launched, I think I'm just bailing. So, happy Halloween. This game sucks. I'll play the sequel. The sequel doesn't seem much better. So, yeah, man. I love playing old games again for the first time. I love revisiting classic games I haven't played from way before the PS2 era. I love revisiting 20th century games. I don't have any fond memories of this game, except for the song you just heard earlier. That's it. That's how we're going to end the game, by the way. And I guess I should play the, opening, and I'll finish off the video by playing the opening. But because, again, I guess the writing is actually not bad. The dialogue is actually not bad, and the voice acting is pretty good. So credit where credit's due here. Where are the bonuses? Quit to the launcher. So we'll start from the beginning and let you watch the story, but not terribly fascinated by this game. Razio's strong. Actually, we should probably finish off the video with that instead of... So I'll tell you what, tell you what, can we watch the, fan art? Okay. The Reaver blade. Surprisingly good fan art, all things considered. Yeah, was that the first game? Blood Omen? I think that was the first game. Which would make sense, actually. Yeah, I want to say Blood Omen was the first. I want to say it was an isometric game. I don't remember. I'll look it up, but know very little about this game. I know almost nothing about Blood Omen. When I heard about Soul Reaver, I'm like, oh yeah, apparently this is a sequel. But I only heard about it in passing, really. Look at this 90s comic book art. This image comics cover art they got going on here. Like I said, very 90s. Yeah, pixel art. That's kind of cool, the pixel art version. I would play a pixel art version of this game, well, with better combat, obviously. Wait, huh? Okay. Conan looking art. And yet I lived, son. How many of these do we have? Okay, we don't have that many more. So I'm glad they include stuff like this here, because I do kind of. Now this looks like, okay, we're gonna do an animated series, and this is the concept art. We'll do like a late '90s Coco animated series, straight out of Korea, and this will be the concept art. I do like that. That's kind of cool. Cosplay, straight out of SDCC 1990, huh? You gotta commit to the bit. Florian what? I don't know. Yeah, you gotta commit to the draw. That's how it's done. Concept art. Good concept art. Yeah, like you hire these great you know, commercial artists, commercial grade artists. Maybe they don't work for Hollywood, but they probably do some decent work for like animated series and maybe some book covers. But like you hire people who clearly have a lot of talent. It's never going to show up in the final game. Because there was no way the finished product was going to look anything like this. Can't zoom in on this. Because obviously, yeah, the finished product was not going to look anywhere near this. Now later, it'd be cool if you could remake this game and make the concept, because you know video games these days they can look like the concept art. But again, it seems almost weird to see all these great artists, like people who played Final Fantasy like I did back in the 20th century. Look at this sick, you know, Yoshitaka Amano art. I forget what his first name is. This Amano character art, and they're never going to show up in the final game. They're never going to hold up. Although Final Fantasy VI did have that pretty sick statue, I guess that kind of held up in terms of the character, in terms of the concept art. But yeah, this is good stuff. It's just like you can't really appreciate it because it's never going to show up in the final game. So nowadays you make your dragon ages, and the games do look like the concept art, or at least they look a lot closer to the concept art. So again, imagine investing all this money and hiring all these really skilled artists, and then the finished game looks like what you just saw. So yeah, some of the lighting looks okay. But again, like you can't have this much geometry in a cave in a PS1 game. The darn thing would run at like 10 frames a second. So yeah, you're obviously limited in terms of what you can actually do for the finished product back in 1998 or whenever this game came out. I'll double check. Yes, it's pretty sick. Renders. Yeah, promos, yeah. Killer Instinct. This looks like this full girl looking doofus. yeah, this SGI looking dude. This Killer Instinct reject. So yeah, I mean CG art was what it was back in the era. You had to do your T poses, but yeah. So again, not really a fan of the renders. I think that game like this might have really come into its own on a PlayStation 2 at 60 frames. Well, the sequel did come out on the PlayStation 2, obviously. At least I think it came out on the PlayStation 2. Never played it, of course. Yes, it's Soul Reaver. So this is Soul Reaver 2 art. Is that what we're doing here? Soul Reaver 2 bonuses. So we'll do that later. Lost Levels. Legacy of Kain, Lost Worlds. We assume the Crystal Nest still has some of it stored safely away, but such things are rarely shown to the public by any studio or publisher. The remastered version was made by people who love the game at least as much as I do. They've gone to unprecedented lengths. So basically, this is something like if you had unlimited money or a sovereign wealth fund, I guess. What games would you remake? Well, part of me wants to remake every classic, 3D game with competent cameras and dual stick controls and graphics. So you want every Resident Evil, I would argue, should. Well, you can keep the fixed camera. But you want to smooth out the graphics. You want it to run at 60 frames a second. Every game should run at 60. 4K 60 for everything, as far as I'm concerned. 120 if you can swing it. I mean, I can imagine this game running at 120. Well, it would make a difference because the combat sucks. Contains absolute wealth of never before seen bonus material. So again, I'm glad this stuff is made available in the remix. Go back. Smokestack. Instructions for this mode. Okay. Retro can shift the material when without the need of portals. Press L just to reset routes. Okay, so you can actually play them. So you can just play them, but they're not integrated to the rest of the game. Okay, so you can just kind of run around. You can't change the mode. You can't change the high-res graphics. Okay. This actually looks like this might be. Is this 2? Is this Soul Reaver 2? Minus. Yes, we have all this. Okay. Okay, that's cute. Well, waste of time there. How do I reset? Yeah, how do I reset again? Whatever. You can wander around these arenas that were never really connected to the rest of the game. That is cute. E3 demo. This sounds like cheating. 1998, so yeah, before this game actually launched. Here's a preview of the game. Runs well. So there is that. Yeah, 98. Lore. Yeah, everyone loves the lore. Pure corrupted, okay. It is adorable. That's from the second game. Videos. So we'll play the video. We have outtakes.
The making of Soul Reaver.
Soul Reaver. I feel an obligation to work out since I'm Soul Reaver. So when the time comes I really meet everybody, I'll be able to wear tight black outfits. And they won't feel so terribly disappointed to see that it's the 60-year-old cocker doing this voice. I had to go out and buy a PlayStation. They sent me Soul Reaver.
Right.
So I went up to buy PlayStation.
Right.
And we hooked it up in the house, and then I started it. Because I never played it, a game like this before. I played a game, period, other than, Knick Knock or that little Pac-Man or something.
Right.
And it's extraordinary. The opening is really extraordinary with the wings and the ripping and the throwing down of the abyss. And
right.
Now I'm getting into the labyrinth. 2 hours later, I still am nowhere. He keeps falling off the rock, and I can't work it to get him on the rock. And my daughter is sitting in the bed. She says, "Dad," I said, "leave me alone. I'm going to do this." She said, "But I can." I said, "Leave me alone." And 2 hours later, I look up, and I realize it's 2 hours has gone by, and it felt like I was there for 5 minutes. And I have gone no further. And I wanted to get into the other things. I wanted to see, because I did several other voices, I wanted to get, couldn't do it. And I said, I can't do this. So when I went downstairs, I came back up, and I looked, and she's already well beyond me. And I said,
Michael Bell?
There's got to be a chip that the kids have in their heads that some of us don't have.
Right.
From another time in our existence.
Yeah.
Is that Michael Bell?
This is a video game for the PlayStation 2.
There's a lot of talk for a video game.
It's a story-based game.
Yeah. I'm so used to sort of doing
Screaming, yelling.
5 lines different. Go through that door! Don't go through that door! Hey, go through that door!
There's more to being a vampire than drinking blood and ripping out throbbing hearts. Trust me, doll.
Was that Michael Bell earlier? Because I don't get to see that. Demos. That's Soul Reaver 2. That's Soul Reaver 2 as a count. So credits for Soul Reaver 1. Amy Hennig! Oh, from Naughty Dog, right? Huh. I mean, I think she's attached. Was she from Ubisoft? I forget. Yeah. Huh. Not off the top of my head. Yeah, the PC version. Troy. Yep, it's Michael Bell. Tony frickin' J. Neil Ross. See, they got Neil Ross in this game too. Okay, this isn't scrolling very great. It's very choppy scrolling. Is it Aspire or Aspire? Don't really remember that. Okay. So we'll play the opening and then we'll just bounce. Recorded this audio with the PlayStation headset plugged into the audio splitter for the J5 Create capture device. So I can capture this at 60 frames a second onto my quad-core Gateway Silver laptop with 4 gigs of RAM. The Windows 10 camera app's capturing this footage. 720p. On a mounted switch.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once.
Sorry.
As were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and...
Sorry, I'll let you... We'll watch that again. I apologize.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and my brethren at the dawn of the Empire. I have served him a millennium. Over time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow, until I had the honor of surpassing my lord. For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony.
No way the original PlayStation game looked like this. They obviously remastered this for the PC version, I guess.
There was only one possible outcome. My eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the lake of the dead.
Cast him in.
What is this, Tekken?
Tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist. Only this torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell. An eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent had destroyed me, and yet I lived.
Son? So what's the mean? I lived, son.
Rush here. You are worthy.
So yeah, the writing is actually above average for most video games. This is actually pretty good. Voice acting above average for most video games, sure. The gameplay, you know. Props to Amy and the crew, but yeah, this thing is trash. Sorry. We're putting this in the C- tier. Probably, if I come back and play it later, I might put it in the C tier. Well, this is completely skippable. I'll play the sequel. I played it for an hour. It's boring. But I'll give you some actual video content for that. Yeah, it's just, it sucks. It really sucks. Oh, what is this? A prologue. Raziovia. So that's cute. Okay, so I got screenplay here. That's cool. Okay. I'm glad they did that. Shame about the game, though. What version was this, by the way? Yeah, 1.03.